Hello and welcome back to Mortars and Motors. This is a little short introduction video of my new purchase, and it is hiding there behind a couple of Volvos. I think I better move one out of the way so you can see it. Well, the Fiesta is not the only diamond white Ford I've got on the driveway. There's a new little big brother for it, I suppose, a Mark V Escort. Let's get it out and we'll have a proper look at it. So yes, this is my new purchase. It came up on Auto Trader about a month ago and I couldn't stop thinking about it for a few days because it is a very special Mark V Escort, I think. Anyway, it is a base model because I'm a base model junkie, and it is probably the earliest Mark V Escort still in existence because it was registered on the 5th of October 1990, which is only about 3 or 4 weeks after it was actually launched in September 1990. So this is a very, very early car indeed. And as you know, I do love an early car. Klaxon my Mark III Fiesta, which was registered 3 or 4 days after it was launched. So why am I doing a kind of video now and not a proper collection video or a purchase video? Well, I went on holiday a couple of weeks ago and went on the way to Heathrow Airport to go and view this car. Did a very, very quick viewing, and because the traffic was quite horrendous, I didn't have that much time. Had a quick view of it, was very happy with it, paid for it, or kind of deposit, and then they delivered the car very kindly, the seller, whilst I was away. So I've just come back from holiday, and here I am. This is my first proper look around the Escort, so please join me in having a look around it. So yes, it is a Mark V Escort on an H plate. That is as early as they come. It's got gingicators because the first couple of model years did have gingicators rather than clear indicators that they got later. And this is the base model. It is in fact a popular, the same as my red Mark III Fiesta. Now when the Mark V Escort was launched, it was launched with the 1.3 HCS engine, which is a kind of modernised version of the Kent engine, which was introduced in 1989 for the Mark III Fiesta in various engine displacement sizes. It also came with Ford CVH engines in 1.4 and I think 1.6 guises from the old Mark IV Escort. And the CVH engines were very unpopular at the beginning, and they were very quickly replaced by the Zeta or Zetec engine range a little bit later on. However, that's irrelevant for us, that's far too posh, because of course this is a 1.3 because it's the base, hooray! You could actually get the base with a 1.8 diesel as well, but this is the petrol version. The other thing to say about this car is, as you can see from this kind of little walk around I'm doing, it is in incredibly good condition. It is a one owner from new car, and he has clearly looked after it incredibly well. Escorts always used to go around the fuel cap there, and obviously on the rear arches they used to really rust very, very badly, and of course the sills. And this car is mostly very, very solid. I say mostly because on the passenger side there is a little bit of evidence of a repair done there on the wheel arch, so I'll need to redo that because it's obviously kind of bubbling through. And there is a very small amount of rust on the back of that sill which has caused a little hole, so I'll need to patch that up. But the rest of the sills are in remarkably good unwelded condition, as is the rest of the car. There aren't even any parking dings or scratches or anything on it. The paintwork is in really, really good nick. Should we have a look inside or under the bonnet first? Let's go look under the bonnet and look at that 1.3 Kent engine, shall we, first? And then we'll do the exciting bit of the inside. Okay, so to get at the bonnet of the Mark V Escort, I think it is underneath the steering column, and you push or pull that. There we go. Oh, quite a heavy bonnet. Flipping heck. Right, I need to get that stick up, which I can't do holding the camera, so hold on a second. Right, and as if by magic, the bonnet is now on its strut. And yes, there we are, the 1.3 Kent or HCS high compression swirl engine in all its glory. But you can really see that in the engine bay, it's really very, very clean in here. It just needs a little bit of a, a cosmetic tidy up with good scrub, that kind of thing. But it's in very, very good condition. Everything is there. There's no rust. There's no issues with the kind of chassis rails, chassis legs. It's just all there in very, very original condition. And these cars just didn't last that long back in the day. You know, I remember by the early noughties, this generation of Escort, a 10-year-old Escort, would have been possibly probably on the scrapyard. One of my favourite things about this car is it does come with this very exciting Ford battery cover, which I rather love. Needs to be fitted properly, but I'll do that one day. Even here under the battery tray is in really good condition. There's just the tiniest spot of rust there that needs to be kind of just cleaned up and tidied, but they used to rot badly there as well. Even the radiator seems to be in incredibly good condition behind the fan there. Really nice. I think it's still running its original Ford HT leads here, isn't it? I would say. Wow. Okay. Wonder what else is original on it. Okay, let's go have a look inside. So first of all, you can see that the seats are slightly saggy, as happens with these kind of vacuum formed seats. I fixed the ones on my Fiesta before, but didn't do a particularly good job. But I've read a couple of articles that suggest that you need to do a bit more preparation than I did. So I will have another go on these ones and see if I can get them to stick down properly. We've also got a set of Ford waffle mats with the car, which is really wonderful. I love original mats with a car. One of the things that drew me to this car is the door cards, because the really, really early base models have the fabric continuing onto this top part of the door card, whereas on every single other Escort they are kind of vinyl on this top bit, and even the base model after 1990 gets vinyl up here as well. So really early bases like this have these very unique door cards. And having a proper look inside here, you can really see the dashboard is in incredibly good condition. All the switches work and kind of have a really nice action to them. We've got 61,000 miles on the clock. A very simple dashboard, of course, with a nice picture of the car with the warning lights, which is quite cute. And a permanently live fuel gauge, which suggests I've got just under half a tank of fuel. We even have an original Ford radio, which is not a tape player, just a radio. But what I find quite hilarious is that underneath there is a cassette slot here, which they haven't deleted for the base model. It's kind of a surprise actually, because they bother deleting lots of things for base usually, and it's still there to have your tapes that you can't actually play. Very sadly, however, the radio is missing its code, so I need to see if I can find it in the paperwork, but otherwise I'm going to have to see if I can get a code online. Damn it. But yeah, it's in such good nick. Even the clock all works, none of the digital cells have died. We've got like a little cubby thing here with rubber inset, another little cubby there, there's a cubby over there, we have a glove box there, all very lovely with a black bin liner in it. Yeah, windy windows of course. I don't know where to begin. The sun visors seem to have this kind of thing clamped to it. I don't know what that is about, but there is a mirror hiding underneath that, so I shall remove that. It's on the driver's one, nothing, just the strap for probably another one. I don't know what they are. Looks like the mirror has been glued to the window several times. It's always a problem on Fords of this generation that the mirrors, just the glue just doesn't last and they fall down permanently. I forgot to say, this is a 4-speed manual. Oh, another 4-speed. I know. I would love a 5-speed on my fleet at some point, but you know, I'm a base model junkie. I can't help it. Let's go have a look in the back, shall we? No central locking, of course, because base model. And you get these same door cards in the back with the fabric going all the way to the top. Very nice. Fabric is sagged a little bit on these seats as well. They need a really good clean. Oh my god, there's a load of stuff in there. I don't know what that is. And one of my favourite Mark V Escort features is this. It's the little clips that you can hold the seatbelt buckles in on the rear seats. I love those. Just keeps it tidy. It's so fantastic. Also got some mats on the back. They don't match the ones on the front, which is a bit of a shame. Right, see if I can do something about that one day. I'm just sitting in the back of the Escort and I've noticed there's a passenger grab handle there, but that's the only one. There's none on the other seats at all. So the only person who gets a grab handle is the front seat passenger. One of the reasons I love base models is the wheels, so you get things like just a very bog standard steel with just a plastic insert to cover the screws. That's all you get on your base model, but everything else would obviously get a full wheel cover, and I think even the base got full wheel trims later on. One thing to note though, you may have noticed here is the tyres. They are absolutely ancient. This is a Michelin. I can't see a date on it, but I suspect it may well be original to the car, so that means that it is 33 years old. A lot of Escorts of this age came with this sticker just here. It's very kind of standard fit on them to show that we don't want leaded petrol, this is an unleaded car. We also come with dealer stickers. This is from Perry's, as you can see, which was, I think, in Milton Keynes. And there's another Perry's sticker here on the tailgate. Speaking of the tailgate, let's get it open. Obviously, you need a key. Oh, God, it's heavy. Oh, I think those struts are a bit past their best, but anyway. Inside the boot, what have we got? We've got some tissue, something black, and don't know what that is. We have a Haynes manual. That's really good. Oh, and it's a really early Haynes manual as well, and it goes to 1992. Look at that. We've got some sort of blanket thing. Oh my gosh, we have a tartan blanket. Oh yes, bonus tartan blanket. Oh, love a tartan blanket. I'll give that a good wash, I think. I can go back in the car. I think it's this car's tartan blanket, don't you? Look at that. That's just immaculate under there. It just needs a really good clean. That's another Michelin tyre there, which again suggests to me that maybe they are the original tyres, or most of them, on the car. Oh, that's the sound of quality. Although it is a very heavy boot, I have to say. I think it might be the number plate that's kind of bouncing against the car a little bit. I don't know if these are original plates. They look very generic. Don't know if anyone knows what Perry's plates looked like. Let's have a look at the front one. Yeah, the front one's also very, very blank, so don't know if these are later ones. Okay, so we've had a little look around the car, and so let's talk about the big elephant in the room that you may be aware of if you know me and sort of have followed me on social media, etc. for a little while, which is that I had one of these as my first car when I was 17 in 2002. Technically, I actually got it when I was 16, but that's beside the point. And I hated it. I had it for about a year. I thought it was a dreadful car for various reasons, and I will go into that in a different video. But I thought this came up and I just couldn't resist it because I wanted to see whether 20 years later, has my opinion changed? Am I now less fussy than I was when I was 17 years old? Is the earlier generation of this body style of Escort better than the slightly later revised versions? Because other revised versions, were they heavier and more ponderous than the very early ones? Is this kind of a bit more lively? There's only one way to find out, which is kind of get used to this car, bond with it a little bit, drive it. It needs a little bit of work, as you will have seen, new tyres, a little bit of body work before we can get it MOT'd, because it doesn't have an MOT, and then I can get it on the road and drive it. So that's it for this one. But join me again for a little update on the Escort and a proper full review of it when it is back on the road for the first time since 2017. Thank you very much for watching. See you again in the next one. Bye.